Map is going to be Zelnaga Caverns, and we have none other than OGS Zenio and Slayer's Ryung. I am super excited for this game. Going to be a TVZ. Ryung spawning as our blue Terran in the top right-hand corner. And in the bottom left, OGS Zenio.
OGS Zenio.
Slayers of Ryung.
So
I wonder if the Koreans ever watch our casts. And they're like, look at these dicks. Like, that would be really funny.
They probably just hang their head in shame. They're like, these days don't even know.
Oh,
so
my God. I need to show you this thing. It's like the funniest video I've ever seen. It was on r/all. It's like jerk Fox News reporter goes to USC campus and interviews students. He's like interviewing them about college basketball or something. Yeah. And he's only interviewing Asian students that like don't speak English. And this Fox News reporter guy, he's like mocking their accents, and he's like asking them questions, and they don't like really know how to respond, and he's kind of like putting them on the spot, and he's sort of poking fun at them. He's talking to this one Korean guy, and the Korean guy is like, so he's like, what do you think about, the USC game this weekend versus Colorado? What do you have to say to the Colorado opponents? And this is after he's like gone through like 8 people who know nothing about what they're talking about. He's mocking all of them. And then the guy's like, yes, USC fight, or he's like, USC fighting. And then the guy's like, you like to fight? And he's like, no, USC fighting. And then he's like, fighting? What are you talking about? And he's like, no, just doing well, trying your best, fighting. And the guy just has absolutely no idea what he's talking about. And it's a Korean guy trying to explain like what fighting means. Yeah. And the guy's like totally making fun of him, and I'm just cracking up because I'm a StarCraft fan, and this Korean guy's like legitimately just keeps repeating it, but he has good English.
Yeah, exactly.
And the
so
reporter's trying to mock him.
Yes.
The reporter's trying to mock him, and he's like, no, you don't understand. I don't like fighting. It means trying your best, doing your best, fighting. And he's like, okay, so you like fighting people, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, it was hilarious. It was on r/man. I'll link you to it. It's like one of the funniest things.
I'm going to have to check that out. That sounds amazing. So I hope the guy is a serious StarCraft fan. And if you're listening to this cast, love you. Anyway, so fingers the heart. Ryung trying to mess us up as much as possible, naming himself Zerg, of course. At least that's his account that he's playing on at the moment. It looks like both these players are actually playing on the NA server because OGS is their generic NA custom account. So,
which is interesting.
Yeah.
Because they're both Korean.
Yes.
Yet they're playing on the NA
Possible
server anyway.
One of them is overseas for a tournament or something like that.
Very possible.
Yep. So maybe this is their way of neutralizing or at least equaling lag. We do have a bunker being placed down for Ryung outside of Zenio's natural. Now, of course, we are on Zelnaga. I'm surprised that he actually didn't go after any sort of double Rex pressure. He's actually moving straight into Reactored Hellions.
He's going to get it up as well. Yeah, that's never a good thing for the Zerg. He might be able to get this Marine. No, he's actually going to pull off. And getting that bunker up is actually huge. I know he only has 1 Marine. He's also only working off of 1 rack. So this obviously is not going to end the game, but it's going to force a lot of Ling production. 2 Queens already on the way, 4 additional Lings. He doesn't want to make these Lings right now unless he absolutely has to. So right now he's just trying to cut off reinforcements and prevent any more Marines from getting in that bunker.
And speedless Lings to Hellions, it's not a pretty sight. So,
no.
So when the Reactored Hellions start really coming under production, we have our first 2 just about to pop at the moment. Here we go. Zenio going to make his way up. That bunker is going to be recovered. And he's actually, I will give credit where credit is due. Zenio actually only made 8 Lings altogether.
Oh, yeah.
And then as soon as he saw he was attacking the bunker and it was being recovered, went straight into a round of drone production.
Oh, he knew.
Yeah, so and when we talk about those small advantages that you can give yourself, and not overreacting is very, very smart.
That's just 2 super high-level players reading each other perfectly. That's exactly what happened right there. And Ryung prodding a little bit with these 2 Hellions. Might have had an opportunity to slip up the ramp, but doesn't want to get too greedy. Doesn't want to lose his first 2 Hellions right off the bat. He could potentially... No, he's not going to be able to deny that creep tumor. We do have a spine crawler going down at the front there. Now that he has 4 Hellions, I think he's going to get a little bit more aggressive. Try and get in there and maybe do some more serious damage.
Yeah, certainly. I want to see almost more people do what Maro did in Qualifier number
Double
1.
Reactor.
On the Zelnaga Fortress.
16 Hellions in your face.
Just came in and just crushed everything. You have buildings? Who cares? I have 16 Hellions.
Yeah,
So,
that build is absolutely ridiculous.
It really is.
I think as a response to Reactor Hellion, it's a really, really good idea to go defensive Roach and start to SimCity your natural with like an Evo chamber and like 2 spine crawlers.
Yeah, I've seen a few players do that actually.
Because if you do that, you can hold that Reactor Hellion build like pretty easily. I was playing a bunch of games with a practice partner. After I saw that build, I went home and I was like, oh man, I got something to show you guys. Double Reactor Hellion, like 16 Hellions, and just destroy you. But actually, players who are really good at holding off Hellions with Roaches can actually deal with it. But I think Zenio is probably really confident in his ability to not take damage and hold it with wings.
Yeah, and Mario had the benefit in that match that we're talking about that his opponent wasn't really committing all of his forces at once. He wasn't microing as well as he could have. So Mario certainly had favorable conditions for that push.
It was Moro and Vibe on
it was Vibe. Okay, I thought it was,
Fortress.
but I didn't want to commit to it because I wasn't the one who casted that game.
Yeah.
So. But, all right, so Ryung has a good number of Hellions out, and that's actually going to keep his opponent at bay and force him into tech for a little while he moves up to 3 racks plus Tech Lab Factory right into that Marine Tank medevac stage.
Love it.
Yep, he's playing really well right now.
Really like the build from Ryung. He's maintaining map control with those Hellions. He hasn't given up the Zelnagas for a second, so that keeps Zenio a little bit wary, a little bit cautious. He's going to have to produce, you know, a few extra units here and there. He's also using those Hellions to deny some creep tumors. I really like that. And just solid play so far. I like his transition into Marine Tank immediately. He's getting Combat Shield, it looks like, before Stim, or does he already have Stim? Okay, Stim is
early
done.
Stim, yeah.
Very early Stim.
But useful, especially in this push that's about to make its way out. Because of how quick Combat Shield actually produces, by the time the push makes its way down and a couple of tanks are sitting outside this gold, I mean, he's going to be able to do quite a bit of damage. Well, let's be honest, okay, there are 3 Banelings on the field. I was about to say I don't see any Banelings morphed in yet. Here we go. Ryung makes his way in. He's going to push back this force. There's no way that Zenio can engage right now.
Yeah, he's not even close to Baneling speed. Baneling speed has not started, and I think that is actually going to be a really big deal here.
This is really interesting, too. He's going immediately into Spire. Like, this Spire came down after he saw all these units that were sitting on the
beautiful positioning. He's going to pick up the rest of the Marines, too. Sniping the Banelings one at a time. All 3 go down. Beautiful play right here from Ryung. That was amazing.
That was about the best positioning I've seen in Marines in a long time. Since Select back in IPL 2 did this amazing
bunker rush.
Yeah, bunker rush, and then pulled back to these mineral fields, just like we saw right there. But Ryung, that positioning was just incredible. And then the snipe of the Baneling
snipes.
Good God. And now these Banelings are actually going to do a lot more damage. So.
Yeah, that was beautiful. And Baneling speed now halfway done. So
yeah.
Once Zenio gets Baneling speed up, I think he's going to be much safer to any kind of potential push here. And oh my god, without the scan, just heads over there right as the expansion's going down. This is unreal game sense and timing right here. Going to deny that third, and he's going to be forced to take the gold as a result. And I think Ryung's next push is going to be headed towards that gold, and if he denies that gold, that's 2 denied hatcheries in a row. And wow, really going after those speedless Banelings right now with the Hellions. I love that. Might be able to get rid of those.
And the Banelings, there's only a few remaining. They're going to collect the Hellions. The Hellions were actually very low to begin with. Didn't spend himself on the Marines, and the Marines are the real attack force right now. That's going to force a ton of units out of Zenio. And even if this little token force of Marines gets cleared up, Zenio's still going to be in a bad position.
If he denies this gold, that is absolutely huge. Look at him targeting the Banelings repeatedly. This micro from Ryung is unreal.
This is so good.
I think he might be able to take this and win the game in a little bit here. Sending in reinforcements now. Additional medevacs join. We now have tanks without siege, but siege mode just finished. And he's working into the natural with 3 tanks. There's almost nothing. I don't think that mutas are going to be the answer right now. They are not good combat units. No. They're better when you have map control and you can go and harass your opponent. They're not good for holding off pushes. But Ryung doesn't want to press the issue. I don't know why. I think maybe he was suspecting that Zenio had a huge wave of production coming out.
That's what I thought, yeah. And he's kind of right. I mean, another 30 Lings and 12 mutas did just come out. It looks like Zenio's going to try and pressure as Ryung takes his gold to be able to take this down pretty quickly. Muta setting up for the flanker, at least to draw some forces over to the right-hand side while these Lings and Banelings come over to the left-hand side. Let's actually see turret infrastructure at the moment. There's a couple of turrets coming up now, but with 12 mutas, a single turret's really not going to provide that much defense. But Ryung, once again, moving down, he's going to re-deny this gold.
He will indeed. And that is so important against Zerg. Oh, God, and the tanks siege. A lot of green blood right next to the gold there. And you can't be happy about that if you're a Zerg player. Red blood is generally what you're after.
Yeah, and let's be honest here. Zenio has not played that poor of a game.
No.
I mean, he went Bling Muta. He was taking a hidden expo. He took his gold at about the right time. He was playing defensively. He didn't overcommit to Lings.
I feel like Ryung is just playing phenomenal.
Yeah, Ryung's decision-making has just been out of this world good.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. You're 100% right. He is playing a phenomenal game, and it's not for lack of effort or mistakes on Zenio's part. Ryung has been creating opportunities in this game, and that's what's really important to note. Hopefully he doesn't lose this CC, though. A couple turrets will go down, and Zenio finally inflicting the first bit of damage on Ryung. A little bit more here, and this is the first damage we've seen from Zenio, so he's starting to make a little bit happen here, but Ryung taking that gold right now is really just going to kick it into higher gear in a major way here. His natural is getting harassed from the back, but so many missile turrets in the proper places. He's covered. He could also get Thors at this point, vehicle weapons on the way, and now that he's muling at the gold here, he's really going to kick it into high gear.
Yeah, certainly. Looks like a few Lings are going to run around the back. This is good decision-making.
Clearing that up and then sending Lings in the back. I like it, but Marines are already waiting for you.
Ryung knows what was going to happen, so...
Oh my God, this is impressive.
Yeah, this is seriously good decision making. Zenio's going to make his way up to the top right-hand corner and try and camp a couple of production structures and add-ons, but he's susceptible to a counterattack at that point, and realistically, Ryung's production is so good, he's just going to run in a bunch of Marines.
God.
2 Mutas went down right away, a couple more red bars, so Zenio just cannot get damage done right now.
Oh, you want to take a ninja fourth? I already have Marines there. You want to backstab my natural? I already have Marines there.
Yeah.
What else are you going to try and do to me? You're going to try and harass my main? Oh, I have Marines there too. I mean, right now, he is reading Zenio like a book. He has all the bases covered, and he's just looking so solid. This time, bringing Banelings on the harass, but the depots have been rebuilt since the Mutas killed them last, and that's going to prevent any kind of harass here. There is a drop, it looks like, going on over here at the 4th. That will get cleaned up by those Zerglings that we're going to harass.
Still took out a couple of Banelings in that drop as well, though, so it wasn't a total loss. Certainly wish you could have done a little bit more damage there. It does give him a little bit of a tip-off that there's probably some production that's stacked over here on the left-hand side. We'll see if he decides to push in and take advantage of that. Oh, Mutas come up and actually take out the rest of the units that were sitting there, and Marines and tanks are going to make their way down to the bottom right, and Zenio's
completely out of position. He has no units over there. He's scrambling to make it. Only a few Banelings and some Zerglings, but his army just looks paltry compared to what Ryung has there.
And Ryung was microing 2 forces at the same time. He even repairs and moves Marines in position to save the supply depot.
Zenio just has to completely sack this expo, pull the drones out right now. There's no way you're going to hold on to this unless you want to sacrifice a majority of your army. Here he goes, but there is a Thor and several Marines out, and Thors and Marines in conjunction are fantastic against a Muta pack of this size.
Yep.
And that's the trouble you run into, you know, when you commit to a Muta pack this heavily and you don't have anything on the ground to deal with all these Marines. No, that is a perfectly apt
facial expression
for
there.
This situation.
Yeah. Oh my God, this is staggering how good Ryung is playing right now. I don't know if I've seen this good of not TVZ.
This is Zenio
game, but
this is Zenio.
Yeah, let's be honest. This is freaking OGS Zenio.
And I have seen no holes. Not only have I seen no holes in Ryung's game, I have seen no opportunities for Zenio to do damage. None.
Right.
Not one.
You're absolutely correct. And 4 Mutas make their way in, but there are 2 Thors, 4 missile turrets, and a bunch of Marines to go ahead and hold up that gold. Ryung's going to be able to take his 4th at pleasure.
Somehow, some way, has managed to stay on par in supply. Both players right around 185. Zenio now ahead, 189.
But Zenio on very cheap units.
Cheap units, lower upgrades. He does have infestors on the way. He is getting +2 for his Mutas, but I couldn't agree with you more. So many turrets in the main here. Zenio running into all 3 of them. Gonna lose some Mutas. Marines from the reinforcement racks is just way
Wow.
too much production.
He only lost one turret there. I mean, a couple of these are probably going to burn to the ground unless
Yeah,
he
but
saves
I
them
mean,
real
how
quick,
many
but
mutas
still,
went down? It's
I think
100%
3 or 4 mutas
worth it,
right
yeah.
away. There's a couple of bailing bombs, so Zenio is going to go ahead and count on a big pack of Marines running over, but Ryung, good game sense once again, moves over to the left-hand side.
Oh, he cannot lose this. Zenio cannot lose this expansion. This is so important for him. He needs to make something happen here. Sending in the mutas from the left. I don't think that they're going to be able to accomplish anything. We have a ton of Marines and 2 Thors here. Only 2 tanks. Surprisingly, oh, never mind. There's an
They're
additional
over at the PS.
6 at the PF.
Yeah, but that is going to expose the Marines that were trying to take down this hatchery for a
It
little
is,
while.
for sure.
But that, I mean, like, I hate to say Ryung doesn't care, but I mean, it's really not a big deal for the cost he's getting out of this. And taking down that hatchery.
Oh, beautiful positioning with the Marines on the low ground. Not going to be attacked by any banelings, and they will screen for those Marines that were on the high ground. Marines running all over the place right now. Just frantically stimming. I heard that was a problem among the Terran infantry. Stimming is a serious problem amongst the Marines.
The DARE program did not work for them.
But Ryung could care less because he doesn't really have that much to worry about right now.
He really doesn't. He's taking his 4th as well, so he's fine on resources for the considerable future. He still has half his natural money as well. So
And
yeah,
you
he's in
know,
a great spot.
another point I would like to make.
What is it?
I feel like Ryung is really showcasing why Xel'Naga Caverns is such a good map for Terran. It's so easy to zone out the Zerg and protect your different bases. It's a small map.
Yeah.
Period. And I feel like small maps are much more difficult for Zerg, especially a Zerg that plays the Muta Ling Baneling style. If I was a Zerg player on this map, I would almost for sure hit some sort of a 2-base all-in Roach Ling Baneling timing.
That's almost
or
what
something
I
like
thought that Zenio was going to do when we saw the macro hatch go down earlier.
Yeah.
After the bunker, the Hellions did a little bit of damage. I honestly thought that's what we were going to see, but it didn't. And let's talk about Ryung's decision-making right from the beginning of this game. He decides to feint towards bunker play to get Zenio to overcommit to Lings, and then moves right into reactor Hellions to be able to annihilate a big group of speedless Lings, which is what he was trying to carry out. So, from point A to point B, decision-making has just been out of this world.
Yeah. It's a very clean game of StarCraft from Ryung right here.
Yeah.
And he's just starving Zenio out here. I mean, Zenio's doing what he can. You know, he's not... Here it is, Zenio's final push. He's coming with everything he has. He has to come up huge here just to stay in this game. All the Banelings do go down. There is 1 Thor remaining, and we do have a couple upgraded Marines. But... No, and just adding Vikings into the mix at this point.
The only thing that can threaten him are those mutas. So.
Or potentially Broodlords in the late game. I think he might just be pre-compensating for that and getting the Vikings ahead of time, because the only thing he could potentially lose to at this point is some sort of Broodlord Infestor switch at the very end of the game. And he's already ready for it.
Yep, and investors and Kevin Price have been invested in and not been utilized because Zenio just can't commit over those techniques at the moment. A few mutas are actually doing a pretty good job doing some damage, but yes, I'm sorry.
No, actually, I think, well, you have a point. He didn't invest in any of those high-tech units, but I feel that even, well, he upgraded Pathogen Glands and finished it. And once that's done, I think the investment for an Infestor is a no-brainer.
Oh, no, I agree.
They're
and there's the GG.
amazing.
So, yeah, I agree that once the upgrade is done, that was worth it, but he never really had 2 seconds to himself to be able to say, yes, I can make some investors and I can protect them. He's like, God, just Lings, Banelings, go, 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 go. I need something, I need anything. So
I totally agree. He was constantly trying to find a window of opportunity to do some damage, set up a flank, and, you know, you saw Zenio moving his forces back and forth, trying to find windows to sneak in and kill reinforcements, but man, Ryung's decision-making was perfect.
All right, guys, so that concludes game number 1. We're going to move into game number 2 in just a second.